Good morning, students. Today we are going to start skeleton, a new lesson number 12. And skeleton helps in movement and locomotion. In this lesson, we are going to study about the function of the skeleton, then the two types of skeleton, axial and appendicular skeleton, and types of joints with reference to their location and their function we'll do. Now, most animals are characterized by a definite shape and capacity for movement of different parts of the body. So we can characterize the animals by the definite shape and capacity for movement. And these movements also help the animal in locomotion. That is, movement from place to place. There is difference between movement and locomotion. Movement is when we move any part of our body, it is called movement. And when we move from one place to another, that is, we move our body from one place to another, that is called locomotion. And here we are going to study about the functions of human skeleton, and 6 main functions are there. Number 1, support and shape. The skeleton provides a support or framework to all the soft parts and gives the body and its part a definite shape. So it is the skeleton which provides a framework or support to the soft parts and gives the body parts a definite shape. Now imagine if you did not have small pieces of bones, that is phalanges in your fingers, would you be able to hold anything in your hand? No. And an example of shape and support, you just hold your ear, try to fold it, and then leave it free. It resumes its shape. Now feel its interior. It is tough but flexible. This is due to the cartilage skeleton inside it, which is giving it support as well as shape. So it is the cartilage, which is one of the constituents of your skeleton, that gives support and shape to the ear. Second is protection. The delicate and most important organs of our body are protected by casings of the bones. Like, for example, skull protects the brain, and the vertebral column protects the spinal cord. The ribs protect the heart and the lungs. Third is movement. Many bones are joined to each other in a manner that one bone can move on another. So many of the bones, they are joined to each other in such a way that one bone can move over the other. And these movements are brought about by muscles. It is the muscles which help to move the bones. And these muscles originate on one bone and are inserted on another. So they originate from one bone and are attached to the other bone and help in pulling and pushing the bones. So the movement of the bones is brought about by the muscles which are attached to these bones. Fourth is leverage. Some bones and joints form levers that increase the speed and distance of the movement by a muscle. So some bones and joints, they form levers. Lever arrangement is there in the bones, and these help, and this lever arrangement helps to increase the speed and distance of movement with the help of muscles. For example, contraction of only a few centimeters by bicep muscle swings the hand swiftly through an arc of more than 1 foot. So when we contract, or by the action of contraction of the bicep muscles, we can move our hand through a distance of more than a feet. Then Next one is formation of blood cells. Certain types of blood cells, including red and white blood cells, are formed in the tissue of the central hollow space or the marrow of some of the long bones. So the blood cells, red blood cells and the white blood cells, they are produced in the central hollow space or the bone marrow, it is called. And the bones are storehouse of calcium and phosphorus for the rest of the body. Next we come over to constituents of skeleton. Our skeleton consists of bones, cartilages and ligaments. Bones comprise the hard framework of the body. Cartilages are the supporting and connecting structures. For example, the cartilage supporting the projecting external ears and the tip of the nose. And ligaments, they bind the bones together. So the two bones, they are joined to each other with the help of ligament. Next we come over to bone. Bone is the chief component of our skeleton. It consists of organic and inorganic material, and the inorganic part constitutes nearly 2/3 of the entire bone substance and includes mainly the compounds of calcium and phosphorus. So the bone consists of both organic and inorganic material, and the inorganic part forms 2/3 of the entire bone substance, and this inorganic part is mainly made up of compounds of calcium and phosphorus. And if a bone is placed in a weak hydrochloric acid, the mineral part is removed from it and the remaining organic framework is left behind. So that inorganic part will get dissolved in the hydrochloric acid and only organic part is left behind, and such a bone is said to be decalcified bone. And it is so soft that you can tie a knot out of it. And on the other hand, if a bone is strongly heated, its organic material is destroyed, that is, it is oxidized, and only mineral part is left behind. Such a bone turns brittle and quickly breaks. That is why when with age the old people, the organic part of the bone is reduced and the bone becomes more fragile, that is, breaks quickly, taking much time to rejoin after a fracture. And if a fracture occurs in old age, it takes long time to heal up. While in childhood, if a child gets a fracture, it is very quickly healed up. So this is about the bone. Then we have classification of bone on the basis of shape. Shape-wise, bones are classified into long, short or flat and irregular bones as it is given above. Long bones consists of shaft with the knob at its two ends, and the shaft is thick-walled, tubular, filled with yellow marrow. Ends are spongy, for example, the bones of the arms, legs and chest. Then short bones, box-like, spongy bones, show little movement, found in the ankle and wrist. And flat bones, they are composed of two or more parallel plates of compact bone enclosing spongy bone, for example, shoulder blade, skull and sternum. And there are irregular bones, and these irregular bones, they are complex in shape, vary in amount of bone tissue, and compact and spongy, for example, the facial bones, the bones of the face, and vertebral bones, that is the bones which make up the vertebral column. So this much for today.